can see that because there's not a lot of things going on around here. I see landscapers seem to still be working a lot.
What is up, pickers? We are back with another episode of What the Heck Was That? We are making an essential trip down to the studios to check potential aftermath of last night's situation. So I get a call from my neighbor, who's a young woman who owns a business next to me, a dance studio. She called the police that there was someone, a random night person, harassing her and yelling and approaching her vehicle as she was getting in. She called the police, and I ended up going down there after to kind of check on things and had my own situation occur as well. When I was leaving, there was a crackhead, I guess, on a bike, rode into my studio complex area and was, snooping around, doing whatever he was doing. Parked and watched him for a while and eventually shined my brights and made it known that I was watching him, poke around at the building. And I wish I would have filmed this. He rode his bicycle straight towards my car, eyes locked on mine, rode around my car while locking his eyes on mine, and rode off with his head turned back, eyes locked on mine. In that situation, there's several things you could do. I didn't do anything. I stayed in my car. I didn't drive off. I watched the whole thing. Again, I should have filmed it. But, I was capable of handling the situation. We're talking about thieves, meth addicts. It appears as if they're just robots looking for opportunities and stealing. And if I could tell you, over the years, the amount of situations that we've had, and we're not in a bad area. It's just when the lights go out, the freaks come out big time. And last night was no different. I have my gas was siphoned from my truck several times. The catalytic converter was sawed off with a hacksaw, and they left the hacksaw and just took they took the catalytic converter. The other night, there was a guy drove up on a bicycle and checked the doors and pulled out a flashlight and was looking in the doors and windows of my studio. I mean, this is how ruthless it is. Again, these aren't homeless vets. These aren't people I care to help at all. These are zombies, people that have chosen dope over being a human, and the dope has robbed them of whoever they were. There's nobody left inside a lot of these people, and it's sad. Believe me, it's terribly sad. And just years of this, I'm jaded towards it. I'm sick of it. There's almost no way to win. You can run off 100 thieves and more thieves come back. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So we're gonna go check on the studios and the surroundings in the wake of last night's events, which, if you have a man emerging from between two box trucks and harassing a young woman, I mean, not on my property. It's not going to happen. This is an issue, and this is out of hand. So when I go confront these people in these situations, I'm not nice. It's time to go. That's the end of it. I don't give a what your story is. If you're there to steal or to harass young women, you're going to get it. That's it. So, clearly, there's a puddle of whatever they didn't get in their can. And this is how good a lock and gas cap is. That's the other parts. It's just not worth it, dude. $3 in gas, you're gonna pry the lock and gas cap off and sit here and suck on a hose of gas. I mean, are times that tough? And if they are, come to me and I'll buy you some gas. This is absolutely ridiculous. I just don't understand the mindset of some people. But I am a wise man, so I buy these in bulk. We buy lock and gas caps, several at a time. I need like a really good one. like I said, there's hundreds of stories I could tell about this over the years of having this building, but one comes to mind where me and my brother were building an additional bank of studios. It was a big project. 3 months we were doing construction, building out, soundproofing these studios, and we were in there one night with the door open because it had to be 100 degrees, and we had a fan at the door, and all we heard is this clack, clack, clack. We heard this big sound, and there was this dude gaining entry to my building while we were in there. You may have met my brother a little bit on the videos. He's a great guy. He's a really nice guy. Grabbed the man and escorted him off the property and let him know that that's not the place to be doing this. Could have been a lot worse for the guy. I honestly think my brother took it easy on him because basically he broke and entered into our building while we were in there. And even in California with our stupid laws, we could have handled that a whole different way. And good thing we didn't, because we don't want to hurt people. We are very peaceful, happy, nice, love-filled people, but after a while, this just wears on you so much. This constant battle, constantly fixing the fence as they cut it, you know, constantly looking out for your tenants and your clients as you're trying to run a business. It's insane. We're just gonna kind of walk the exterior of the building here and make sure nothing weird is going on. After last night's debacle, we have cameras, we have alarms. They don't care. A little bit of graffiti, but this is a thoroughfare where they come. They do some interesting things back here. We find a lot of weird stuff. Constantly messing up the fence. That's not our property. This is our property. Nice green, uncut grass. So we need to take all the spigots off because they'll use them and leave them running. Now this was a good story. They were prying off this. It was capped. There was no plug here. They were prying it off, pulling the wires out that go into the building, shredding the wires and hooking them up to cell phone chargers and stuff. I mean, just complete fire hazard. So we put another cap on, sealed it down. Again, like a week later, it was ripped open, raw wires hanging out, to other wires twisted to it. So we finally just pulled the wires in and capped them off inside. There's a big section missing, isn't there? That was my catalytic converter that they cut off with a hacksaw, just right behind the shaft there. See that empty little pipe there? Should be connecting there. They just cut it off. You know, what are they gonna make, 200 bucks? Does this bother me? Do I feel unsafe? No, it doesn't bother me emotionally. I'm used to this stuff around here. I don't live in the same city where my business is, but when I go to work and run these places, you gotta kind of be aware. And this is, you know, vandalism, whatever it is, it makes it tougher to do business. It is what it is. I understand that some people lose their minds, and some people, they fall into a life of substance and they can't get out, and it leads them to do things that they wouldn't normally do. I'm not saying these are terrible people. I think they're victims of the substances. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna harass women, if you're gonna break into cars in my parking lot and make it dangerous in a place where we're running businesses, forget about it. There's no sympathy. We used to literally drive around Martinez and we would get 100 Kinder sandwich halves, and we would drive around Martinez downtown and just give them out. Drive around Concord, give out sandwiches to anybody who looked hungry. And I think there's a big difference from someone who's homeless or having rough times to someone who essentially chooses this. They don't want the shelter. They literally, it's dope. It's just dope. Aside from the tweakers and the drug addicts, there's an element of just thieves, you know, not necessarily people who are poor or homeless, just thieves. I have a 70s Chevelle Super Sport, and I don't bring it here much. It actually is a garage queen. It just kind of sits in my house at this point, but I brought it here and we had a rehearsal. This is a few years ago. I get in my car, I'm driving. I'm going, 2 miles away. Thank God I didn't get on the freeway, but my wheel came off. It just came off because apparently they were mid stealing my wheels when practice ended. So we came out and I drove off in the car. My wheel came off on Solano Avenue. I'm literally sitting in the road with one wheel that had just rolled away past me, and cars are honking, get out of the way, get out of the way. It's like, dude, I can't move my car. By the time I'd actually left the studio, it was dark out, and this dude rides up on a bicycle, and I go, oh boy, here we go. And he parks his bike, and he pulls 2 cones off the back of his the rack on his bike, and he puts cones around my car. This dude was a lifesaver. So I think people are good. You know, I give people the benefit of the doubt. I do love people, but man, it's tough to trust. It's tough to know who's who and what they want and what they do. I mean, keep your circle small, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. It's sad. It's sad that you can't love and trust everybody. And even though you may feel something for what they're going through, sometimes it's best to keep your distance. You don't want to become a victim. You don't want to do things out of the kindness of your heart and have it backfire on you. It's better just to walk by. I still have compassion. I still have love for any human being. It's just, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep my circle tight. I'm going to keep my facilities and my people and my tenants, my neighbors, as safe as I can. There's no question about that. It is what it is. We're talking about a dance school where children and women go, and here we are, we have day and night walkers harassing or breaking into their cars or making them feel uncomfortable. I don't think so. So this is what we do, is we try to combat that as much as we can. Let's wrap this up in the underwater themed bathroom. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Not normally the type of video I would be doing, but this does occur in my daily life. This is a part of being me. So you might actually see more stuff like this. I wish I'd filmed last night's events. It was pretty interesting, pretty creepy, I'm sure, for some people. I'll just try to film everything. All right, pickers, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, just don't like the video, but do subscribe. And no, you should like the video. That's a thing. Like it, subscribe it. You know, don't share it with your friends because I don't want to get too popular, but like 6 or 7 more likes a week, I'm good with that. Let's do it.